Hello folks, my name is Keith Hershey, and in this video I'm going to run through how to use the parser. And let me first off start by saying I am by no means an expert with XML. I still have lots of issues as well. A lot of this with the parser I learned through trial and error. I did also post when I had some issues, posted the string of errors that it would give me into the forums at Fantasy Grounds, and there are quite a few helpful individuals that gave me pointers on how to correct the problem. So anyhow, we'll first start off. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to scrape from the DDI compendium. In order to do this, you have to have a valid subscription. So if you do not, you will not be able to do this. Alright, so we're going to hit compendium once we download it and install it here. And once again, it's going to tell you that you have to have an active DDI or D&D Insider account and connection to the internet. Yes, I do. Okay. Now we're going to scroll up. You're going to need an output directory. This is where it's going to put the files that it scrapes. These files you will later use to actually parse into the module itself. So I do have an output folder here where I've been working on stuff. And put temp, and then I got a whole bunch of them. I'm going to go ahead and do Legendary Evil. It's a small, short one. So, that. This append here, let's say you're going to do a combination of different modules. Let's say you're going to put all your NPCs into one module. You can use this append, which will keep stacking the information onto existing files for you to use later. For this, I'm not going to use it, but once again, like if I want to combine Monster Manual 1, 2, and 3, I put, after parsing each book, I put that append, keep that on there, and it would put all the NPCs into one file, so that way when it parsed, it would be one module. Alright, then it's going to ask me for my login name. Alright, select the source book. Legendary Evils. And for each book, I've noticed that it automatically pops up with a bunch of presets for that book. One thing to note, in the current state of the parser, the items does not work. If you click yes on this items, it's going to come up and it's going to give you an error in the middle of doing it. So always go ahead and select no on the items and you should be fine. Okay, once we've got all that done, now we're going to go back up to compendium and we're going to hit scrape. And it's going to ask for the password. Alright. And yes, I already have stuff there. I'm going to go ahead and go over the top of it. And it's going to open up a separate window where it will be doing its thing here. This one should be really quick, so shouldn't take longer than a minute or two. Yep, it's done. Scrape completed. Alright, so go ahead and close that. And we're going to switch to parse mode now that we got that done. Alright, so scroll up to the top. We need a module name for this. This could be anything you want to call it. This is actually what it's going to show up for the module name. Okay. If you have a thumbnail, you can go ahead and link that. I'm not going to put that in there. category, you can put a category so when you look in the library it's under a different category. And I'll go ahead and just put monsters. Mode string, I honestly have no idea what that's for, so I'm going to leave that blank. Temporary directory, this is the directory where the files you scraped are at. So I'm going to go look in my output in the temp directory and go down to legendary evil, because that's where I put it at. Let's see here. Okay. Alright. Module directory, make sure this points at your directory where the modules are located at. It will put the module that is completed over in that directory when done. Alright, output format. There are three different formats. There's a db.xml format. This is going to be the main one that the DM uses that only he can see. Now, let's say you are formatting a book like Heroes of the Fallen Lands or something, and you want to be able to open up that book in managed characters. You need to make sure that this is in client.xml instead. And there's another one called host.xml, which I'm not really familiar with. I mainly stick with DB and then client. I use client for any basically player source books, so I can open it up in managed characters and don't have to worry about connecting to a campaign to use. Output to library I'm going to leave alone. Okay, now I need to go to my directory, output. I'm going to take a look and peek in there and see what files I have. Okay, so when I parsed it, it gave me a class.text, arrays.txt, and NPCs. Alright, so we're going to start with NPCs. So you're going to go into monster stats, and that's npcs.txt is your data file for the monster stats. So we're going to point that at the correct one. So it's not Dragon Magazines, it's Legendary Evils. So we're going to go to NPCs, open. Okay, so that's linked. Alright, class.txt is actually going to be your powers. So we're going to go down here, open that up. Okay, class.text, and then we also have race.text. Okay, now in your reference area here for powered feats and that, whenever you have the powers.txt file, that's actually going to be the data file. So it's kind of a little, you just have to know how that works. Alright, so I'm going to do that. Oh, and another thing to know is, like when you're doing NPCs, you can output the list of monsters to the personalities. And what that means is when you click on the NPC button inside Fantasy Grounds, there will be a little tab at the bottom for each book that has personalities. That's, if you click yes, it will put it over there. I personally just like keeping it in the library. It's just as easy doing it that way. Yeah, so I think we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and give this a shot. So I'm going to go up to parse, and let's maximize the results. We had a directory fail. I think it's because of this. So clear that. And, oh, we're going to leave that one alone. We're going to clear that. So I think what it is it's just got NPCs. Alright, we'll hit parse again. Now if you look, we've got green check marks all the way down. If you ever have a red X, that's the area in which there was an issue. And we're going to go ahead and maximize. And if we scroll all the way up to the top, it says that it is done. Okay, so there you have it. And then after that, you can close this down, and go in, open up Fantasy Grounds, and go look at your new module called Legendary Eagles. I know this was really simple and really basic, and there's some other books out there with more complex things. Like I said in the beginning, if you have any problems, the best thing to do, and it's going to take some trial and error, is when you get the results that comes up, copy that, go over to the forums, and paste in there the little line of code that it gives you, indicating what the error was. And there are people that are well experienced in XML that can help you and give you directions on fixing it so you can get your modules up and running. Anyhow, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have a request for a video in a future series, please let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Anyhow, happy gaming, and we'll see you